Shopping around for a new pen, perhaps you have seen this one pop up on your eBay or AliExpress or one of those sites. And this is the Dian N10. So I'm going to take you on a tour and show you all around this pen and do a size comparison, writing sample, thoughts, etc., etc. Okay, the shape of the pen is basically straight until you pass this band at the base of the finial. The finial tapers down and it is basically flat on the end. This is a blind cap here, as this is a piston filler. And then you come up to the cap and it tapers, but ever so slightly. It's almost straight, but just a little bit. And then it comes to this step down type finial, and it too is flat on the end. I'm really surprised that they didn't put some kind of HD, some sort of Dian logo on the top there, but it's simple, and I appreciate that. The body does have 2 ink windows, and then the coloring or the pattern on here is kind of like this barber pole type of wind, and then it has these, I'm going to line it up here, we have these pinstripes on both sides. On the clip band, you have this ribbed type design. The clip is a washer style attachment. It has a nice tension to it. It's tight but not too tight, and it kind of has a unique style to it. I don't see too many pens with the exact style of that. As you see a lot of those ball clips like Pilot has on their A23 and other models. But anyway, this is a very usable clip. It does not need assist going over pockets. This is basically a gunmetal type of plating to the clip and to the other metal parts, and I think it goes well with the full design of the pen. You also have this ribbed look to this band at the finial, and then on the cap band it says Dian dot and then an N10, and that's all it has. And then around it has this angled ribbed design. I think I did like the design of this band. It's kind of cool. Like I said, there's a lot of uniqueness to this pen that just got my attention. But there are some things that I really wasn't too crazy about. And one of them was the fact that this is a threaded cap design. And the problem with their design, so this is something that Dian needs to work on, is that it needs to come to a solid and full stop. To where you are not going to be tempted to over torque. Not that it would necessarily hurt it too bad, because there are plastic threads on the cap insert, but metal threads on the by the grip, and that could be a problem if you're over torquing, but I don't know that it necessarily would be in this case. Anyway, to line everything up, as you got that, and that's not perfectly aligned. You have to twist it a little bit there. That'll line up, and then all your barber stripes, if you will, they line up. Now this pinstripe is a little bit out of alignment there. Seems like it's lined a little better on the one side. But when it's all lined up, you get this wiggle. And I really don't like that. Now you can You can get past that if you torque it just a little bit more. It doesn't wiggle at all, but then everything's out of alignment. So that could be frustrating, and I don't know why they weren't able to engineer that. The body is metal, but it has what the website said, an aluminum alloy coating process that they used, and probably as they put the design on there, they did that aluminum alloy. And one of my initial reactions when I first got the pen was, this thing is slippery. And it does. It is kind of slippery. It's not like if it was chrome or stainless steel or something like that, but it is kind of slick. It's almost like if you have, or if you have handled the Diplomat Arrow, only it's not, the arrow is kind of textured on the body, but this is not textured at all. But so it's kind of slippery like that. But I have to say though, I have used it a decent amount since I got it, and I did find that it really didn't feel like it was slipping, but I could see how some people might find that, especially now I'm somewhat used to holding my pen with a tight grip. I've gotten better about relaxing my grip since I've started using fountain pens, and it's really helped my hand for long writing sessions. But I think you will find yourself holding this pen a little bit tighter because of that slickness. Now the threads there are pointed, but they're not sharp. And then you see this gradual squared step down, and it's comfortable. You don't feel any kind of irritability with that. The nib is a number 8 size nib, and this is a fine tip. The design on the nib, you see the Hongdian, or the Chinese knot, and then it says Hongdian, and F for fine, and then since 1997. The pen will post, and it does post securely, albeit, back up there a little bit, get my cord out of the way, it is back weighted. So you're just going to have to get used to that. If you have a larger hand though, I don't think it's going to be a problem, because it does somewhat balance as you tip it up. And but if you're going to write at the angle that I write at, you would notice it. And I tried writing with it for a while, but it's still kind of back weighted. This is a metal cap, all except for the interior. Again, those are plastic threads. That's a plastic insert. This pen comes in 3 different colors. It comes in this blue, it comes in a green, and it comes in a red. And the red is almost pink, but anyway, it does come in those. The blue color seems to be a challenge to get a hold of, and of course that's the one that I wanted. And one seller was taking a bit too long. I thought they had it in stock. A lot of the other sellers say that the blue is out of stock, and so you know not to order it from them. Try to, if that's the color you wanted. But the one place appeared to have it in stock, and anyway, it was taking too long. They refunded my money, and I canceled the order. They refunded, and I went with another seller. I contacted them first to make sure they were in stock, ready to ship. They said yes, so I bought it through them. And so anyway, but for some reason this blue one must just be more popular, I guess, is a little bit hard to get a hold of. Okay, in the hand, this is a comfortable pen. except for, again, the slickness. But as far as weight-wise, it is a comfortable pen. I think that you would like it. It would be good for long writing sessions and so forth. The body is only 21 grams, and altogether it's 36 grams. So with that, I am going to post a picture of, anyway, I'm going to post the dimension numbers for you right now. Then I will be back with some size comparisons. All right, size comparisons. You have the Dian N10. Then you have the Jinhao 9019. You have the Conklin All-American Matte Black and Gunmetal. And then you have the Twisby Diamond 580 AL. Here they are uncapped. And as you can see, this is why I got the 9019 out here. 2 number 8 nibs. And here they are posted. And I just want to show you a little comparison with these 2 number 8 nibs, because I think the nib size is what attracts a lot of people to this N10, as well as they were attracted to the 9019. They're both number 8 nibs, but as you can tell, what looks like to me, this, see if I can, maybe I'll do it this way. The N10 seems that the shoulders on the nib are a little bit wider than what's on the 9019, but the length is the same. But I thought that was cool. It just, I don't know, there's something about the width of that, the flare, if you will, of the nib that's kind of cool. All right, how about a writing sample? All right, we have the Dian N10, and this is a fine nib. But one of the things I found with these Chinese nibs, at least most of them, is their fines, even that if they don't offer the pens in medium, I'm not too adverse to buying one, too afraid to buy a fine, because they oftentimes write very much like a medium. The ink I'm using is Diamine Turquoise. Nice writer, no hard starts, no skips. Will give you a little bit of line ooh, kind of felt a little pop there. It'll give you a little bit of line variation, not a whole lot. It's a rather wet nib, which is kind of nice. I think it works good being a fine. It is a pretty smooth nib. There is a tad bit of feedback, but it's not, I don't find it uncomfortable. I usually like the buttery smooth. I haven't messed with this nib at all, except out of the box I did have to align the nibs a little bit, but it was a very simple fix. I just, pressed down hard on the nib itself. So you can get a little bit of variation in there, just right like that. Anyway, the nib came back in alignment, so wasn't a big deal. Reverse writing. Does that well. And keeps up. Except for, what do I think about this pen? That's a good question. Because because there's some aspects of this pen that I really like, and I'll go through those here in a minute. So I'm going to give it a smiley, but not a meh, but just kind of a smile there, you know, kind of a wink and a nod tied to this pen. All right, so let's conclude this with some pros and cons and closing thoughts. All right, some cons for this pen is that the body is kind of slick. You know, at least with acrylic pens, they are, you know, they have some kind of, not tackiness, but it's not always real slick. You know, for instance, if I get this diamond, you know, this is smooth, but it's not slick. And same with this Jinhao. You know, it's not like it's rough or rubbery, but you know, it's got some grip to it. And so this does not, and so that's kind of a con. And even metal pens, like when I use my say my Corinnes or my Diplomats, you know, they're all metal, but the paint on it has some sort of, just like the acrylic, has some sort of, I don't know, it grips well with your skin. So that's a con for this pen. I thought, you know what would really be cool with these pens is to maybe do a leather wrap. Oh, that'd be cool. Anyway, but if they have some different material, because I love the band designs and the clip, that's really nice. But anyway, so you got that. And then you got the capping. Now, it still works. Everything works. I didn't find it drying out. I didn't have to wrench it real tight to keep it from drying out. And the style of it is just, I just really like it. But like I said, you know, if that's going to bug you, then you wouldn't want that. And then the fact that it only comes in a fine, the nib tip only comes in a fine option. So that you may want an extra fine at least. If you like mediums, this would probably work for you. It worked for me. So, and that's with on cheap paper as well as the Rhodia pad that I did the writing sample on. The pros are the number 8 nib for those of you who like large nibs, and I like large nibs. I think they're cool. So you got that, and like I said, it had that little flare, so that was nice. It's a smooth writer. So overall, I think this is a nice pen for the price, $24. I think it's, you know, it's worth the risk. I believe if you want something a little bit different, again, you have a larger ink capacity with the piston filler. And of course, if you don't like a lot of ink, you don't have to use the whole capacity, right? It's not like a vac filler. So overall, it's kind of like, yeah, I like it, but there's some things, sorry. But there are some things that, you know, I think needs improvement. But anyway, so there you have it, the Dian N10. I got a couple other videos for you to check out, and you have a great day.